twice. And Dick Allen won the regions to advance in the Dick Weber PBA playoffs. Today, the final three regions hit the lane. Can Jason Belmonte and Bill O'Neill use their youth to run through the bracket? Or will traditional powers like Chris Barnes and Wes Malott move on? Three regional championships on the docket as the road to the Dick Weber PBA playoff championship continues. Dick Weber PBA playoffs. Today from Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis, our final three regional champions will be crowned. Last Sunday, Steve Jarris, a one-pin victor to claim the East region. Randy Weiss also did it with a one-pin cushion to win the South region. Dick Allen almost dropped a 300 game on us to claim the Central region. Today's broadcast begins in the Midwest. Jack Jurek, Bill O'Neill, Wes Malott. Two more regions to follow, the Southwest and then the West, Northwest. Glad you're with us this Sunday. Rob Stone, PBA Hall of Famer Randy Peterson here with you. The men's NCAA tournament in the midst of their Final Four weekend in Houston. Here in Indianapolis, we're closing in on our final six of the season-ending Dick Weber PBA playoffs. Last week, the storyline upsets. Two #1 seeds booted. This week, three more #1 seeds on the telecast, including Player of the Year candidate, Bill O'Neill.
And Bill O'Neill is really proving that he belongs out here. But it's been a great season, and when we ask him about his season, he goes, yeah, absolutely, great season. And coming into this event, a lot of really good mojo for Bill O'Neill. He won the U.S. Open here last year. He won for the third time earlier in the season at the Pepsi Viper Championship. He led the tour in points. He's proving he's one of the elite out here. But, Rob, like you said, he's trying to become the first #1 seed to advance in this tournament.
And O'Neill telling us earlier, Randy, a big number is going to be needed today to move on. Time now for the introductions of your Midwest regional finalists.
A six-time winner on the PBA Tour with 11 PBA regional wins, the big nasty Wes Malott. A three-time PBA Tour champion and U.S. Open winner, the real deal, Bill O'Neill. He owns 2 career Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour titles and 12 PBA regional victories, the Ripper, Jack Jurek.
There's your three Midwest finalists. Bill O'Neill, your #1 seed in the Midwest, will start us off, and he'll do it on the left lane.
Last week we had big scores. Let's see how these three players broke down the oil pattern. Let's see whether or not it's conducive to high scores this week.
That's no way to start anything.
And there may have been our answer. Bill O'Neill, first shot out of the gate. Looks pretty good right before it gets in front of the head pin. Snaps real violently, leaving the 4-6-10.
Goes for count, attacks the 6-10, leaving the 4.
And again, just like last week, the low 2 scores are out. The high score of the 3 move on in this tournament.
Here's Jack Jurek. Messenger will not travel to take care of the 10. So Jurek will wait for his spare attempt. And big nasty. 6'5", 250. Wes Malott from Pflugerville, Texas, just outside of Austin, steps up for his effort in the first. Didn't like it. And the oil pattern is winning here early. Open frame for O'Neill. Jurek after 10 pin. Got it. And we reflect back on Wes's effort in the first.
Wes has been working really hard on his game and his direction of his arm swing. Been really struggling with timing for over a year. He said this week to you and I, Rob, he said he think he may have found something. Felt like he was walking a little bit too far away from his arm swing, which was creating a big loop in the downswing.
And been drifting away from his swing too much. Also been having some back issues. Been plaguing him for years. Flared up not too long ago. Here's O'Neal after that open frame first and right of target. That's one of those really looks.
We didn't see a shot like that all week, or excuse me, in the entire show last week. Not one washout.
Still without a strike.
But yet the only player to be able to hit the pocket for his first 2 shots, leaving 10 pins with both attempts.
Is Jack Jurek. Here's O'Neal in the second. Already 1 open frame. Make it 2 and an ugly one to boot. He's at 15 through 2 frames. Rough. Jurek takes care of that one. And now Malott's first effort to close out the second frame.
Talking with Wes and asking him about his game plan for today, he said it was just to perform well on TV again. It feels like he's had to take a step back to get back to where he used to be.
I needed to get that confidence back up on TV. O'Neal's arsenal has not worked well for him. That's his best shot of the day, leaving the 10.
I can't get that one.
Jurek. 9 spare, both times leaving the 10 pin. Here he is in the third.
Well, he finally gets the 10 to go down, but the encouraging sign is that all 3 balls have been in the pocket.
Yes. And O'Neal gets him up. Celebrates. There you go.
It's a high five from Wes Malott.
I mean, that is one of the best bowlers on the planet, Bill O'Neal.
Without question.
That oil is just jumping on him early. Malott, 7 spare in the first, strike in the second. Here he is in the third.
Pay close attention to his balance after he lets go.
4-7.
A little high on that one, leaving a 4-7 in his 3rd TV appearance of the season.
You can see both Jack and Wes Malott trying to go as straight as they can early on. Right now, Wes Malott trying to figure out that left lane. Jack Jurek has figured out both lanes.
O'Neal still without a strike.
He's shaking his head because he went washout the last time on that lane. Throws a good shot there and goes 4-pin. As a professional bowler, that'll drive you crazy.
Wes Malott, spare strike, spare. And he is on top by 1 over Jurek. O'Neal down a quick 26. Still trying to get himself a strike. First needs to take care of this 10 pin. Reading the body language of Bill O'Neal, it does not look good for him.
He's not real happy right now.
The arsenal for Jack Jurek this afternoon. Going with the Anarchy.
First double. You want to talk about a guy that's been flying under the radar and quietly bowling really well? That's Jack Jurek.
2nd at the USBC Masters, 2 top 20s this season. And it happened in the last 3 tournaments of the season.
And one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet right there.
Go back to the USBC Masters.
Good shot.
Messenger.
Good shot.
Take
Good
care
shot.
of the 10. Going back to the Jurek
Happy
conversation.
with that.
USBC Masters. He's your #1 seed, losing to Tom Hess. And Tom Hess going slightly out of his mind with excitement and emotion, and it was Jurek who corralled him back and saying, "You're not done yet. You're strong here. Take that title." Classy guys. O'Neal puts himself a ticket on the strike train. Finally. Third score for Malott.
Jack Jurek working on a double can increase that lead and give himself a little bit of a cush here early on.
Last Sunday, we saw 2 #1 seeds go down. Bill O'Neal, a #1 seed in the Midwest, in trouble right now. Jurek in control in the 5th. 3 in a row.
At least on that lane.
Wes Malott, 1 spare in the 2nd, going with the rising star. Second strike of the match for the McNasty. Unable to pair them together, Jack Jurek has done that, and he has the lead. The conclusion of the Midwest region when we return. Will a #1 seed finally move on? Bill O'Neal's in an early hold to that man, Jack Jurek. The Lucas Oil Dick Weber PBA playoffs are brought to you by Lumber Liquidators. Go to lumberliquidators.com for a list of our new store openings. By Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. By Lucas Oil, the world leader in high-performance lubricants and problem-solving additives. And by the makers of One A Day Men's 50+ Advantage, the multivitamin with more of what matters. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson, welcome you back to Indianapolis, our continuing coverage of the Dick Weber PBA playoffs. Time now for this week's installment of the Lumber Liquidators Know the Wood.
The 39-foot Dick Weber oil pattern was designed to maximize creativity. This oil pattern also lends itself to multiple angles because there's a little more oil in the middle part of the lane, and it's a relatively short oil pattern. But most importantly, this pattern allows the bowlers to play to their strengths.
Bill O'Neal, a #1 seed in big trouble, down 45 to Jack Jurek. But the good news for the O'Neal camp, he is entering the 6th frame off of his first strike, trying to get himself a double and get back into this one. Back-to-back jacks for Bill O'Neal. Speaking of jacks, we're talking to Jack Jurek now, and Jack, during warm-ups, you were saying your ball reaction could be a little bit better. How is it right now?
Well, now we've had a little time on the lanes. We've loosened up the fronts a little bit, so my ball's reading a little bit quicker than it was at the start of practice, so it's gotten a little better, fortunately.
Certainly has. Jurek with strikes. Randy in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, looking for a 4-bagger in the 6th. Say it with me.
4-bagger. Well, Jack Jurek's making it look easy right now, and he's just making some stellar shots and putting all kinds of pressure on the other 2 players in Wes Malott and Bill O'Neal. Now, Wes Malott looking to double up for the first time in this game.
Well, let's let it go. Crap, Tony's.
Trying to get that confidence back on TV, saying let it go.
Yeah, just a little grabby at the bottom, cause the ball to hook and go high.
Now O'Neal trying to claw his way back into this, looking for a triple in the 7th. Come on.
Get out of here.
Bill O'Neal's rev rate and Wes Malott's rev rate much higher than Jack Jurek's. Jack's bowling ball doesn't seem to read
Not sure if it was the camera or the ball or what it was.
as much, and therefore it's blended this oil pattern out beautifully for him. The other two players struggling just to hit the pocket.
Ooh! Great effort from O'Neill. But it'll be his third open frame.
Get
Wes with a miss.
You've got to be kidding me.
And an open frame. And Jack Jurek is sitting here saying, this one is being gift wrapped. Jack Jurek in firm control of the Midwest Regional Championship, trying to join Randy Weiss, Dick Allen, and Steve Jarris in the final 6.
All he has to do right now is avoid any open frames, and he will all but punch his ticket to the final 6 in these playoffs.
Strike number 3 for the Big Nasty. Jarris to close out, or rather Jurek to close out his 7th. Calm, control, never in danger. Bill O'Neill, the focus of this week's Lucas Oil High Performance Fast Fact. This is his 17th TV appearance in the last 3 seasons. That is a perturbed player right now.
Yep.
3 strikes in his last 4 frames for O'Neill, but he also has 3 open frames total.
And if he doesn't double, he's going to shoot 160, and that would be the last score that you would think Bill O'Neill would shoot. See the subtlety in the back-end reaction for Jack Jurek being a lower rev player. If that was Bill O'Neill or Wes Malott, that ball would have cut right through the nose and could have been a real ugly split. Instead, for Jack, it's just a simple 4-pin spare.
It's been a very simple game for Jurek thus far. Gets them all to drop. What a run Wes Malott had a couple years ago en route to Player of the Year honors. As Jurek steps up, gets scared, 4-pin. O'Neill now down 59, beginning of the season. What a great start O'Neill had at the World Series of Bowling. He was your Player of the Year leader. But that honor ripped away from him by Mika Koivuniemi as of late, but still a wonderful campaign for O'Neill. I mean, he has to be in the top 3 finalists for Player of the Year.
Without question.
Probably put Chris Barnes in there as well, who will be on our show a little bit later today. But it's Jurek, the player of this match. Didn't like that effort, but again.
The ball held pocket, and then it goes solid
right
7.
O'Neill drops the 10. He's ready to get out of town here.
Watch this. He doesn't like it. It's left of target, but he finesses it enough at the bottom of the swing to make it hold line, to leave a stone 7.
Converted single pin spare.
Big shot coming up here for Wes Malott, Rob. If he strikes here, he will make Jack Jurek think about him. He'll be in his rearview mirror because Wes Malott can strike out for 227. Right now, Jack Jurek is going at a 226 pace.
3rd TV appearance of the season for Malott. 3 top 20 finishes on his resume for this season.
They were so China when we started. Huh? They were? Wow.
Misery loves company as Malott and O'Neill converse.
That was really the only chance Wes Malott had of winning this match, was carrying that 4-pin.
Jurek in control here at the Midwest Region Championship, but in February, Back in Reno at the USBC Masters, Jack not so fortunate. Struck 6 times in the first 7 frames, but then threw back-to-back splits for open frames in the 8th and the 9th, and lost the title match to a very anxious Tom Hess. Now, Jack, ever the class act, here he is helping Hess calm down so that Hess could capture the first PBA title of his career.
Take a sign, collect yourself real quick, throw another shot. No more shot.
For many reasons, Jack Jurek is one of the most respected pros out here on the Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour.
That's enough for Jack. He will advance.
Thank you. Moves on. But we head from the Midwest to the Southwest next. The region's headliner, Australia's Jason Belmonte in action. He'll line it up with Brad Angelo and Dino Castillo when we return. The Southwest region is on the line now, and Texas native Dino Castillo is on top. And now, veteran Brad Angelo seeks to finish a frustrating season strong, and two-handed sensation Jason Belmonte has his eye on a second career title. A berth in the Final Six is next. Jack Jurek, your first winner of the day here after Lucas Oil's Dick Weber PBA playoffs, handily taking care of Malott and Bill O'Neill in the Midwest Region Championship. And time now for the introduction of our 3 Southwest Regional finalists.
Former Team USA member, runner-up in the 2010 Japan Cup with 1 regional title, Dino Castillo. The 2008 World 10-Pin Bowler of the Year with 1 career PBA Tour title, Jason Belmonte. 2002-03 PBA Rookie of the Year, 1 career PBA Tour title for Brad Angelo.
And Dino Castillo lives now in Carrollton, Texas, just north of Dallas. His parents from the Philippines. And Dino and his lovely wife, Leanna, just recently welcomed in, not their first, not their second, but their 3rd boy, not child, 3rd boy into the house. Kai joining the Castillo family, so congratulations to them as Dino makes his first TV appearance on U.S. soil. And he starts it off right with the strike.
That's for sure.
Made a Japan Cup appearance in 2010, finishing 2nd. Brad Angelo, the veteran of this bunch at 41 years old. This is 9th year on the tour. 1 PBA Tour title on his resume. Won the Pepsi Viper Championship in Omaha back in early November of '08.
Between last week and this week, the players are much deeper already than they were probably the entire telecast last week.
Speaking of difference, here comes the two-handed style of Jason Belmonte.
And I watched the 3 players in practice, and it looked like Jason had the better ball reaction of the 3, and doesn't that figure, because the first shot he goes through the nose, the other 2 struck. So just goes to show you how much I know.
Well, we saw in match number 1, we thought Bill O'Neill was pretty well dialed in, and then boom, when the lights came on, big trouble for the number 1 seed Bill O'Neill. Jason Belmonte, your number 1 seed in the Southwest, as we take a look at what Dino is rolling with today.
Going with a game breaker, and his game is all about loft and speed.
Oh, pretty good.
A medium rev rate type guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, he gets close to that 400 rev rate, which is above average. But again, his whole thing is loft, keeping the ball on line, and he likes to throw it hard, and that's real conducive and matches up real well with a shorter pattern, which is what they're bowling on.
Angelo. Castillo steps up. Takes down the 7. So strike spare for Dino. Angelo going after the 6-10 spare. Covers that one. Belmonte moves to the right lane in this 3-man Southwest Regional Final. This is the 5th regional final. One more to come after this one. Belmo on the strike train.
You want to talk about rev rates? Well, that's about as high as it gets out here on this tour.
We are even across the board through 2 frames. Dino starts us off in the 3rd. On the left lane. Second strike for Castillo.
Pretty good start for a player that's never bowled under the bright lights here stateside. As you mentioned, he did finish second in the Japan Cup, but pretty good start for his first time ever on television here in the U.S.
Loaded revolver, the ball of choice for Brad Angelo, the native of Lockport, New York, making his 18th singles television appearance. Strike number 2 for Angelo. Finished 13th at the Mark Rock Plastic Ball Championship. He was telling us in the midst of that tournament, for the first time ever in his career, he was outside the exempt point list and knew there were no guarantees. Really had to start ramping up his game, get more focus. Belmonte putting it right in his game. Back-to-back jacks.
That ball's going down the lane with some bad intentions. A lot of revs and a lot of speed.
C-pin, hit pin.
Clean win.
Strike number 3. And Castillo's doing a very solid job.
Isn't the NCAA's all about upsets? And that's all we've seen. Dino Castillo looking to knock off another #1 seed.
That would be Jason Belmonte, your #1 seed in the Southwest earlier today. The Midwest #1 seed, Bill O'Neill, eliminated. Chris Barnes, the #1 seed in the West Northwest, still to bowl after this match. We go down lane side, Jason Belmonte. Jason, after that opening spare, 2 strikes, what have you seen in the lanes change so far?
Mate, for me, it was just little nerves, overamped, and forgot what I was looking at. So it's a good thing I remembered the last 2 shots. So hopefully I remember this one.
So what are you looking at then?
Don't ask me that because I still really don't know. I'm just lying. I really don't know what I'm doing.
We appreciate his honesty. Thank you, Jason. And Belmo stepping up in the 4th. He's a guy who, on our side of the business, gets television. He understands it. Always a great quote. Always a good guy to talk to about what's been going on. 3 in a row for Belmo.
Well, not only is he a gifted athlete, but he's got quite the wit. He's a very entertaining guy off the lanes as well, and just a joy to be around. Now, Dino Castillo, I got to be honest, really impressed with this start.
Strike spare, and then a double. Here he is in the 5th.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, but that's a great oh my goodness.
Exactly, and it was just a little quick, a little fast, and just a hair right, and he knew it as soon as it left his hand.
Very Jack Jurek so far in the sense that he's putting himself in trouble.
Oh no.
Else to make a mistake, and then after patting him on the back, he whiffs on the single pin spare. He cannot have things like that happen. First open frame here of our Southwest Regional Championship match.
You know, in a regular singles match, sometimes you can rebound from an open frame and still win a match, but now he's got to be 2 players. So at this point in this tournament, missing single pin spares, unforgivable.
Angelo heavy on that one, but
Gosh, dang it.
not left with a difficult cleanup.
This Ball grabs a little sooner than he would like, goes through the nose, but only leaving the 3-6. That's the good news. The bad news is he was working on a double, and Belmonte's on a 3-bagger.
Leaves a nasty split.
Wow. Okay.
And you can see that Jason thought he threw a pretty good shot there, only to have it go through the nose. And when you're Jason Belmonte and you have that high a rev rate, the oil pattern tends to get beat up pretty quick. And he needs to obviously stay one step ahead of the changes in the oil pattern.
Angelo takes care of the 3-6. Belmo. Open frame. So Angelo, the only one without an open frame through 5. The Southwest concludes when ESPN's coverage of the Lucas Oil PBA Dick Weber playoffs returns to Indianapolis. Welcome back to Indianapolis. I urge you to join the most active community of bowlers on the web by friending the PBA on Facebook. Get tournament updates, view behind-the-scenes photos, and connect with the biggest stars in bowling. Also, check out Winning Wednesdays on the PBA Facebook page for your chance to win prize packs from PBA product-registered companies. You do that Facebook thing, don't you?
Oh, I'm already a fan.
You're a big shot on Facebook. Dino Castillo down 11 as we begin the 6th.
There you go. The high one from Dino Castillo. That's his A game. Give it some lock, give it some speed. Keep his target in front of him. That's 10 back. Now, if he makes the single pin spare in the 5th frame, he's actually leading.
And Angelo steps away, shoots a little look over at Belmonte. Didn't catch anything going on there, and Brad will regroup. This is effort in the 6th, had a spare in the 5th, and now looking for his 4th strike of this match.
Come on, Jace. Come on. You didn't do anything? You're not crimpling the stupid bottle?
Dude,
It's the 3rd time you've done it. Jeez. No better than that.
So the noise from a Belmonte bottle is what triggered Angelo to step back originally before his opening shot in this frame, and they continue to discuss. Angelo for the spare. Look at the stress on his face, and now let's see how Belmonte reacts to a little flare up there. No problem for Belmo with the big strike.
I really didn't mean to do that.
Of course not.
Jason and Brad continue their conversation. Sounded like Belmo apologizing, and they give way now to Dino Castillo, who trails both of them by 9 pins.
Same kind of thing on that left lane where it just does a flyby past the head pin, leaving the 2. He only has one more shot on that left lane, so he'll have to figure out and calculate what the proper adjustment will be so that he can figure out a way to string some strikes and get back in this.
Pair of 8 spares lately for Angelo in the 7. And leaves the 10.
Ball lost its gusto as it entered the 1-3 pocket.
Castillo takes care of that single pin spare. Again, remember he had a whiff in the 5th when he flagged the 2-pin.
See Brad's spare set up there. He puts his hand on the outside part of the bowling ball, helps him throw it nice and straight. Kills all the hook, throwing plastic. Great tip for folks at home if they want to be better spare shooters. Learn how to throw it straight at all your single pin spares. Now, Jason Belmonte looking to double up here, 6th, 7th frame.
Back-to-back jacks. Didn't like it, loved the result. So your #1 seed in the Southwest, now with 5 strikes.
I think he thought that ball was going to go high.
Good rebound after that open frame in the 5th from Belmonte. Dino starts us off in the 8th, coming off a spare. Through the nose.
That was his good lane, and he's lost that now. He's left himself with the toughest spare out here on tour for a right-hander, the 3-6-9-10, because of that back pin, the 9-pin.
Angelo will step up. He has the most experience of the 3.
But he hasn't struck since the 4th frame.
And that streak continues.
And again, another flat 10.
Second open frame for Dino. Things slipping away
Not very good.
from Dino.
Not very good.
And things working in favor of Belmonte. Angelo throws out his effort in the 8th, takes care of that single pin. Again, we have yet to see a #1 seed move on to our final 6. Jason Belmonte with the chance here to claim the Southwest Regional as the #1 seed. Looking for strike number 6.
Come on.
Here comes Jurek. Yeah! Wait for it. Well, ever since Angelo and Belmonte had that conversation, it has been nothing but strikes for Belmonte and nothing but spares for Angelo. Castillo back on the strike train.
Dino's a real likable guy as well out here. He's got a great personality and known Dino for many years. And
Such an upbeat guy.
he's just a great guy.
But he is down 44 to Belmo. Angelo with 3 strikes in the first 4 frames, but a quad's worth of spares since. Ball change leaves double wood.
Jason Belmonte could all but lock it up with a strike right here. He's in the 220s. This will put him in the 230s. The highest Brad Angelo can shoot if he converts is 212. Look out.
My!
Oh, Jason. 4-6-7. Leaned right back into that.
And the door just swings wide open. After throwing the shot the last time on the left lane and getting away with one that he thought was going to go high, this one does, leading to 4-6-7. Brad Angelo must convert here. He still has a possible 212 if he does.
Chops down to double wood. Belmo with his second open frame, and it comes in the foundation frame. The one frame you really want to avoid that.
Dino Castillo's not out of it. He can strike out for 202. Brad Angelo is going at a 202 clip. and Jason Belmonte needs to mark.
Oh, the spots.
To
You gotta
shoot
throw it. You gotta throw it
2-10.
there.
But
Don't want to throw it
never
there.
mind. All right, so Dino Castillo is going to be in the 180s. He's out. Brad Angelo can still strike out to shoot 212. If Jason Belmonte goes strike spare or spare strike in the 10th, he'll shoot 211.
Perhaps another one-pin game in our future. We saw 2 of those last Sunday as Randy Weiss and Steve Jurek both advanced by 1 pin. So Angelo steps up in the 10th. 4, make it 5 consecutive spares for Angelo, yet he is still in this one.
He is, and very much so.
Clean with a big strike there to start the 10th.
Huge trip forward. How many times have we seen this season when a player was behind going into the 9th and 10th frame, they get up and they strike out to put the pressure on the opponent, and then the opponent gets up and splits.
See U.S. Open, Norm Duke versus Mika Koivuniemi.
Thank you.
Belmo in the 10th, his first effort.
Oh my.
Messenger
Right
That
where you
was
needed it.
just
behind the 10.
That was just a massive rack shredder right there. I don't know, 4 or 5 pins looked like it went by the 10. Look at that. I mean, that was nasty. Now, Brad Angelo, another strike here will put him in the 2 teens. 2 more. He shuts out Belmonte. Another soft 10. Belmonte needs to make the 10 pin and keep the ball on the lane. He's got to make this.
Single pin spares, no gimme this season in the PBA.
Oh no.
Got it. Didn't like it at all. Did not like the approach, the landing, but Belmo able to take care of it.
That was just crazy stuff. It looked like he dead stuck. He could have gone head first.
Angelo, after the 10, takes care of it. So Brad Angelo in the books with a 202. Belmonte
needs 2 pins.
He'll take 10, and the #1 seed moves on. So finally, a #1 seed survives to reach our final 6. And Belmo will make it official. Signs the board, and the Southwest region is yours. Up next, our final region. Chris Barnes, your #1 seed in the West, Northwest. Getting set to take on a Lennie and a Lonnie. The Lucas Oil Dick Weber PBA playoffs are brought to you by Barbazol. Start your day with Barbazol shaving cream, America's leader for a close, comfortable shave. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. By the makers of Bear Aspirin. Expect wonders. And by Go RV. Visit GoRVing.com to watch a free video. Go affordably. Go RV. This the scene midway through the last match. Jason Belmonte's water bottle circled, and Brad Angelo steps up for the effort. And Brad heard something, and here are the following discussions.
Come on, Jace. Come on. You didn't do anything? You're not crippling the stupid bottle?
Dude,
It's the 3rd time you've done it. Jeez. No better than that.
And I
then
just picked
just
it up
moments
by
ago,
the head because
after
I knew
this
I had to
match,
go soon. So I picked it up by the head and it just popped like on its own. And then
I understand.
I really didn't.
Just a crappy thing.
I really apologize, Brad. I do. I feel really bad about it because I know that we only get 10 shots. I understand. I just want you to know I'm really sorry.
I understand, Jay. I understand.
Thanks, Brad. I do. I feel miserable.
Such a quiet location, Randy. Any type of noise is picked up.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, Jason Belmonte didn't intentionally try to disturb Brad Angelo, but like you said, it's a very quiet environment down there, and sometimes you just get caught up in your own thing, and you don't realize that you're doing it when you're doing it. And unfortunately, stuff like that every now and then happens.
West-Northwest region getting set, but first we fire up the RV, and we are back in action here next Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern on ESPN, our continuing coverage of the Dick Weber PBA playoffs. And we'll continue on April 17th as well when we go live for the three-man finals of the Lumber Liquidators Dick Weber PBA playoffs. Time now for today's More of What Matters to fan question, brought to you by the makers of One A Day, and it is for that man, Chris Barnes, the #1 seed in the West-Northwest. Comes our way from Ryan James of Zeeland, Michigan, and Ryan asks you this, Chris: how much differently do you think this Dick Weber oil pattern will break down today compared to during the week?
Well, the West region was really high scoring, which is the region I end up in this week. But they played them further to right. They played them around 8-9 early, and they broke down, and ended up around 13-14 the deepest. With all the rev rate we've seen on the show today, we're going to be playing them. I'm going to be close to fourth arrow, and that's going to be a lot deeper than I played them at any point most of the week. So I would anticipate the scoring to be a little bit lower. But you never know. I mean, three guys have been striking a lot, and Lennie's really put it on them. So we're going to try and keep up with him.
And Chris, with that being said, as you migrate deeper towards the middle part of the lane, do you attempt, or do you try to change release, try to create a little bit different ball roll to get your ball to finish harder down the lane?
Yeah, I may have to go to that same release I used in the World Championships, which is getting inside of it. Actually, that's what I'm going to try right here. And just to create a little bit more angle through the pins.
Chris, thank you for the time. We appreciate it as Chris continues to get loose for his regional championship match.
They get around it. You get through the front, you go through the whole lane.
Sixth spot in our final six to be determined. Lennie Boresch Jr., Lonnie Waliczek, or Chris Barnes. Who will move on? Find out with us. Up next, the final regional champ will be crowned. Chris Barnes has long been considered bowling royalty. This season, he added another jewel by becoming PBA's 6th Triple Crown winner. The West-Northwest region, the final piece of the six-man Dick Weber PBA playoff puzzle is to be decided next. Rockstone and the Hall of Famer Randy Peterson welcoming you back to Indianapolis. Time now for our Winning Touch, brought to you by Touch of Gray. Gets rid of some gray, never all. Today's Winning Touch looks back at the season's PBA World Championship. Chris Barnes made a little bowling history there. Qualified as the 4 seed for the season's first major. Took down Michael Haugen Jr., Oski Palermo, and Sean Rash, and then finally the tournament leader Bill O'Neill. The win, Barnes becoming just the 6th player in PBA history to lead bowling's Bowl crown. Jason Belmonte, our first #1 seed to move on to our final 6. Chris Barnes will try and join him as we get set for our West-Northwest Regional Championship.
A 13-time champion on the Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour and Triple Crown winner, Chris Barnes. He owns 2 career PBA Tour titles and 10 regional victories. The upgrade, Lonnie Waliczek. An exempt player with 24 career PBA regional wins and 3 USBC Open Eagles, Lennie Boresch Jr.
And Lennie, the native of Kenosha, Wisconsin, kind of in between Milwaukee and Chicago, right there on the lake.
Let's start off.
Good
Big
shot.
Packers fan, a big Chicago Cubs fan.
Roll it.
His first career TV appearance. Leaves the 310 baby split.
What I wanted to do.
One of the best part-time players you folks at home have never heard of, Lennie Boresch.
What was your line to me? Everybody on the amateur circuit knows who Lennie is.
Yep.
And Lennie will step up and finish this offering. And he's clean through one.
Doesn't look like much. Game isn't all that intimidating, but that man knows how to bowl and knows how to throw a lot of strikes.
So does this guy, Chris Barnes.
Boy, that lane's something else. Fair.
Not a lot of love for that right lane early on from Barnes. Boresch taking a seat after that great spare conversion. And here's Lonnie Waliczek, native of Wichita, Kansas. He and Barnes went to Wichita State together. Bowled 3 seasons together. There's our first strike.
Pretty game right there. Great balance to the ball. He's a great athlete. Keeps himself in great shape.
Barnes with the spare. 2 spares and a strike. 3-1.
Barnes was mentioning issues with the right lane. He doesn't have to finish on that lane. He'll finish the 10th frame on the left lane.
Now this is accomplishing one of 3 bowling goals for Lennie Boresch Jr., making TV. Here he is, 2nd frame.
Jeez, come on.
For the #1 seed in the West Northwest.
Highest scoring region throughout this tournament, by far.
Shot the 6 pin. Lonnie Waliczek steps up. Here's a look at Waliczek's arsenal this afternoon, going with Tropical Heat.
Mm. 248. Not the easiest of spares you want to be shooting here early on, but shoot it like you're shooting a bucket, and Lonnie should have no trouble making that. Now, Lennie Boresch looking for his first strike ever on television.
Other goals for Boresch in bowling, a USBC title, and back-to-back 300s. Waliczek, who bowled collegiately at Wichita State University. Chris Barnes told us a great story about Lonnie yesterday. He said at one point in the season, he misses this one badly. He overslept for a roll call at 8 a.m. Didn't go on the trip. After that,
I got through that little.
he would pull into the parking lot where the team would meet the night before, sleep in the car, and Barnes and his teammates would come by and knock on the window to wake up Lonnie to make sure he was on time for roll call. That is devotion.
Better?
Back-to-back shots for Barnes going back to Waliczek. I don't know how you could effectively do anything, much less bowl, after spending the night in the car. It's good to be young.
Well, when you're young, Rob, you're resilient and a lot more flexible.
That's right. Barnes with an early 11-pin lead over Lennie Boresch Jr. Waliczek. His second strike through 3 frames. Here's what Boresch has in his bag today.
Oh, no.
Well, we've already seen the 3-6-9-10 missed once today. Again, the issue being the 9-pin, the back pin, tough to get to. Get it a little wide of that 3-pin, you don't cover it a little too far to the left, you chop it. Barnes in complete control early on.
7 top 20 finishes this season for Barnes, looking for a strike into the 4th. And the 10 will stand.
You know, if it wasn't for Mika Koivuniemi, Chris Barnes would have made the show at the TSC. He'd have made the show at the US Open. I mean, this could have been an absolute banner year if it wasn't for his tour roommate.
Another great pickup from Boresch. Barnes attacking the 10-pin. Drops that one. Time out for our Bear pain relief replay of the match.
Again, we talk about the difficulty of this spare, and it's that back pin, and Lennie Boresch made it look easy. See if Lonnie Waliczek can decipher the right lane.
Got it there, back-to-back jacks for Waliczek. 3 strikes through 4 frames. But again, that open frame in the second. So through 4 frames, it's Barnes on top by 10.
High on the right lane, light on the left. Remember, it's the 2 low scores that are out. The high score advances. Chris Barnes looking to become the second #1 seed to advance in this tournament that's been full of upsets.
This is the final regional championship. One of these guys trying to join the 5 others who moved on to next week's show. Messenger drops the 10.
That ball rolled out right before it got to the 1-3 pocket, but because Chris Barnes uses 16 pounds, that ball still had enough energy to get the Messenger over to take out the 10.
Oh, no.
Boresch. Skinny jeans! They fit.
Right. Yeah.
You're all good.
This ball comes off the spot, starts to go towards the head pin, then kind of rolls out. That's what 16 pounds and a good, nice high rev rate will do for you. Throws pins around.
Waliczek has figured things out, looking for a 3-bagger here in the 5th. Maybe. 3rd strike on that left lane for Waliczek as he takes a seat. We are through 5, and the Wichita State guys in the mix for the final spot in our final 6. Chris Barnes strikes in the 2nd, 3rd, and 5th. He's on top. Things are tight with Boresch and Waliczek in his rearview mirror. Welcome back to Indianapolis. Beautiful look at Lucas Oil Stadium. Great to have Lucas Oil on board. Doing some sponsorship now with PBA, home of the Indianapolis Colts. Beautiful facility in downtown. We're about 15-20 minutes away from that stadium. And away from Woodland Bowl, the West-Northwest region continues. Barnes on top by 3. Issues for Boresch continue. Just 1 strike thus far.
Yeah, and the way the roll pattern's broken down, it's not real conducive to what Lennie Boresch likes to do, and that's to go straight up the lanes or parallel with the boards. To me, it looks like the oil pattern's blown apart. You got to move in, and you have to open up the lane a little bit, like Chris Barnes and Lonnie Waliczek is doing.
Resilient. 13 titles, 3 majors, including this season's World Championship, 1 in Vegas. Gave him the Triple Crown. His 3rd televised appearance of the season.
Yeah, and he was absolutely spectacular on that day. Pulled flawlessly.
Came all the way up from the 4-seed spot. Waliczek looking for 4 in a row here in the 6th frame.
Really good shot. He really wanted it, only to leave a stubborn ring in 10.
Lennie Boresch up now.
Oh, you let it go, but
And the trend continues for him. Light on the left lane, heavy on the right lane.
Here in the championship match of the West Northwest region. Boresch down 14. Oh, what a pickup!
I'll make it this one. Not being a good player. Does it perfectly. Slides the 2 over into the 10. Boyd's an open frame. He's still shooting 195. Chris Barnes in the lead at 209.
It's a clean game for Boresch. 1 strike, 6 spares.
Come on, Lennie, make the adjustments. Man up, throw some strikes, put some pressure on him.
Well, I'm pretty good at getting at that same spot.
Right now, this man looks like he's got the best ball reaction of the 3.
Strike number 5 for Lonnie Waliczek. Barnes to close out the 7th. This would be his 4th single pin spare conversion should he drop the 10 pin, which he does. Lennie Boresch Jr. up now, and here he is on his first match on television.
I'm sure I'll be a little bit nervous, but I'm pretty excited about it. You know, it's been a dream come true and something I worked all my life for. So, you know, I didn't think it was going to happen, and it did. So I'm pretty excited to get out there.
48 years young, making his TV debut. This is all you're going to see of Lennie.
Well, in order to stay clean now, he's going to have to make the 3, 4, 6, 7, 10. You can see he's trying to move around, and he's just got to move inside to where Barnes and Waliczek are playing the lanes and somehow try to go around this oil pattern a bit more.
So it looks like it's going to go down to the 2 Wichita State rollers. Barnes.
Yeah! Come on, drop. Well, he's getting his ball out of the pocket roll, but his downward ball reaction is so subtle that it's not facing up and hitting the pins hard enough. It's not driving through the pins hard enough. He's probably using that ball because it blends the oil pattern out. It gives him the best look to the pocket, even though it may not give him the best carry.
That's a kick out there on the effort from Boresch. So his first open frame, he can only salvage so much. Waliczek with 4 strikes in his last 5 frames, coming off a strike in the 7th. Here he is to close out the 8th.
He can take the lead right here with a strike. Remember, highest score out of the 3 moves on.
Maybe. There's his first lead since the first frame.
Solid. Real solid.
oh no.
One ball in the pocket. Wasn't even that good.
That's too bad Lennie doesn't have the ball reaction that's conducive to what he likes to do, and without having a chance of throwing or stringing strikes together, his day is pretty much done. Now Chris Barnes looking to regain the lead here in the 9th frame.
A double would do it.
And there is a double. Big shot. Mr. Big Shot. I'll tell you what, he's been pretty clutch all season. Right now, that was a huge shot in the 9th frame for him. And so here's the deal. Chris Barnes can strike out and shoot 238. Lonnie Waliczek can strike out and shoot 245. Going to come down to this next shot here by Lonnie Waliczek. This will set up the 10th frame for him. If he doesn't strike here, Chris Barnes can lock him in the 10th frame. No.
And that's not just a normal 7-10, Randy. That left, or I'm sorry, that 7-pin was pushed to the left and still stood.
Oh. What
That
a
was a bad
terrible,
move.
terrible break
Nice ball, man.
for Lonnie Waliczek. This split has only been made 3 times in the history of bowling on television. Lonnie Waliczek doesn't make it. He's going to have 181 in the 9th frame if he gets just one. Chris Barnes.
Number 1 seed, Chris Barnes, up confidently.
Yeah, sorry, Rob. Chris Barnes needs good count and a mark. That's all Waliczek can shoot now is 211.
Barnes now on top by 17 as he begins his 10th frame.
May have just got his ticket punched early, courtesy of the pocket 7-10 left by Lonnie Waliczek.
Ten-pin shy of a 3-bagger for Barnes.
If Barnes converts,
I don't think.
and gets 5 on a spill shot, he will move on.
Lennie Boresch Jr. is done with a 177. That's what Chris Barnes needs to move on. Be the final member of the final 6. There's a spare. Waliczek really had this one until that nasty 7-10 he left the last frame. Here he is in the 10th.
Well, he was in great shape, and if he strikes there in the 9th frame, he could throw a double in the 10th frame, and no matter what Barnes does, he locks him out. And then, of course, you come back and you trip the porker like that. And sometimes it's a really cruel sport.
Barnes doesn't need a whole lot to move on. Winner Chris Barnes moves on. Another number 1 seed advances.
Completely different than they were the rest of the time.
Yeah, I know. I feel pretty bad though.
So he made everything
And fellow
correct.
number 1 seed Jason Belmonte move on today. They'll join Jack Jurek and company. We'll wrap it up when we return to Indy.
Boys.
The Lucas Oil Dick Weber PBA playoffs are brought to you by Lucas Oil, the world leader in high-performance lubricants and problem-solving additives. By Touch of Gray, gets rid of some gray, never all. By the USBC and its 2 million members. To find out more about USBC, log on to bowl.com today. And by Lumber Liquidators, Go to lumberliquidators.com for a list of our new store openings. And there's a look at your 3 winners today. Jack Jurek, Jason Belmonte, and Chris Barnes as those 3 move on. And here's how they did it, courtesy of the Geico Championship Recap.
In our Midwest Conference, it was Jack Jurek bowling a very tidy 221 to take down Bill O'Neill and the big nasty Wes Malott. Then in the Southwest region, Brad Angelo bowls a clean 202 game. Unfortunately, it wouldn't be enough. With the help of 2 3-baggers, Jason Belmonte squeezes out 211, beats Brad by 9 pins, and Dino Castillo by 41. In the West-Northwest region, it's Lonnie Waliczek trying to make a big move, but here in the 9th frame, it's a pocket 7-10 split on a double. Couldn't have happened at a worse time. Chris Barnes just needs a good, tidy 10th frame. He does so, shoots 217, and he advances.
So we take a look at our updated brackets for next week's show. Jarris versus Weiss, Allen versus Jurek, and then the battle of 2 number 1 seeds, Belmonte versus Barnes. And you can see that one Sunday at 1 Eastern from right here at Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis, Indiana, 1 to 2:30 on ESPN Eastern Time. Well, week number 1 had upsets. This Sunday, 2 number 1 seeds able to move on. Jason Belmonte and Chris Barnes advance. For Randy Peterson and our entire crew, I'm Rob Stone. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.